viewing my lecture and the corresponding sound recording, this should give you a really strong sense of what's going to happen with this assignment. So this is your assignment 4. It's going to be the poetic narrative. I'm expecting 6 digital images since we gone online now. I'm going to expect 3 pairs, and I'll explain what that means in just a second. So how do pairings of photographs cohesively connect and function together to visually portray one concept without actually showcasing it literally? We're going to do the exercise of word mapping, and through the process of the visual metaphor method, it will inspire photographic concepts and connections of objects between figurative synonyms of your chosen concept. It is your job to have the viewer immediately and effectively interpret your chosen concept. So you're going to pair together 2 images to create one of the concepts listed below here, and you're going to do that 3 times. So there should be 6 images total. So the different ones you can choose from are isolation, fear, suspense, revelation, identity/self, ambiance, relationship/companionship, and then the domestic/familial. Technical specifications, ideally, if you have an SLR, I would like you to photograph in RAW mode or manual mode. If you only have access to your cell phone, try to do the best you can with this one. I still would like to see your process RAW images for this, or process JPEG images if it only shoots in JPEG. Try to use an ISO under 800. Also, do not photograph other people's photographs, artwork, or sculptures. This is not your own creation. Unless it is your own, you're more than welcome to use those. I also want to see all of your process RAW images combined in a contact sheet. I have a corresponding video in which you can follow in order to upload assignments. Essentially, you're going to place all of your 6 final images, or if you wanted to pair them up, either through like a Word document or a PowerPoint, you'll save those as PDFs, and then you'll combine them all together. So this will include your process RAW images as PDFs, and then your pairings as well. Also, something to keep in mind is when we compress and combine our PDFs, the JPEGs will get a lot more compressed than they initially were. So I would like you to save these as 10 inches on the longest edge and 300 as if you're saving a TIFF, but only save it as a JPEG. The reason for this is it's not going to compress anything whatsoever. So creating visual metaphors, I went more in depth with how to go about this. This is like really brief. So I'm going to actually show you the word mapping exercise in just a moment. With regards to things to consider, I'll let you read this on your own time. There's just things to consider regarding sequencing, framing, content, vantage point, focal length mergers, and just Photoshop techniques in which we are already familiar with. So take a look at that. So we're going to go to our word mapping exercise. It's as a PDF on Canvas. You will see it under the assignments module on Canvas. It should look something like this. I'm just going to zoom out here. Word mapping exercise. So I'm going to pick a word just as an example. I'm not going to actually do the assignment for you. I'm going to pick a word that's not even on the list at all. So we see the word calm. It has no really noun associations to it whatsoever. So what we're going to do is we're going to then make a list of 20 plus adjective synonyms for our chosen concept. So you can use Google, you can use your own mind and association. I'm totally fine with you using like the thesaurus, or the dictionary. If you have that in your house, go for it. Spend your time with it. These are the ones I thought of. Just going down the list, I listed 20. The more, the better. Sometimes some of them might not fully match up completely, but there is some connections that you can definitely utilize when you're thinking about noun and object association, which I'll get to in just a moment. Step number 3, this is where you're going to make a new list of 20 plus nouns directly associated with that word that you started with. So when you think of the word calm, what objects come to mind? This is not going to be abstract like the ones in the previous list. So these are the ones that I initially thought of right over here. So where it says step number 3. So again, like calm is going to just be subjective to everybody. These were just ones that I thought of, like angels and like trees blowing and stuff. They're just very calming to me, I suppose. Same with rest. And being in a quiet room without my students is quite wonderful too. So next, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go to the next step, which is step number 4. So step number 4, you'll see that we're back at step number 2. This is where we're going to have a list of adjective synonyms, and we're going to pick 3 of these. So you can pick any of the 3 that you choose for your list of 20. You have full creative freedom. You can do even more than 3 if you'd like to. So these are the ones I picked. And then next is I'm going to find 10 adjective synonyms for these 3 words from my first list. So I have standstill. I still believe the coronavirus is making the world at a standstill. It's kind of terrifying also at the same time. Same with regarding dead end. I also have relaxed and mild, both related to calm. So now we have to add nouns to these words here. Just object association of those words. Again, you can create multiple lists. You can also create more than 10. I'm just doing 10 just as an example. So here we have our nouns. I really am also happy I chose mild hot sauce, and I highly don't recommend that anybody smokes, but when I thought of mild, I thought of Black and Mild cigarettes. I also thought of Dominoes and things when stand still and things like that. So now, once I have all of those object nouns completed, we're going to go to step 6. It's going to be where we're going to combine all of our object nouns together on one full page, and this is where our associations are going to come into play. Here we have our calm nouns. I'm going to pick, so you can honestly, I already picked 3 here, but you can pick all different ones, and then you're going to match them with, so one of the calm nouns are going to be matched with one of the nouns from each of these. I'm also trying to think of ways in which, how could I base it on the concepts I talked about in my lecture? So composition, tonality, place, concept, elements and principles of design. What can really relate to each other? So you're going to need a lot of pre-visualization related to this. So just keep that in mind when you go around it. Also, I'm always open to having very humorous types of concepts as well. So I thought calm blankets and mild hot sauce can be kind of funny. Could I make it work? I'm gonna try it. Or pretty much anything related to these as well, like a pendulum clock and let's see, a thermometer actually might give off a notion of the world's gonna heat up and blow up soon. So maybe some of these connections might not entirely work. So just remember, how is this gonna relate to the notion of calm through our methods of creating continuity as well as juxtapositions between these unrelated objects. And then I have it right down here. So just step number 7, this is where we're going to think of our pre-visualization stage, which I just briefly talked about. And that is how you go about doing the word mapping exercise. I expect all of you to complete this list. You will actually have to take a screen capture of it, either with your phone or scan it in, and you'll have to turn this in with your 4th assignment. Failure to do so, you will not get full points on your process. This is absolutely crucial, and you need to do this, just to let you know. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me or email me.